whatever their age, were always happy to talk about themselves. The intern enthusiastically described the process for answering congressional correspondence. "We can send 60 different form letters depending on what a constituent asked about." He stopped for a breath as they entered the most beautiful corridor Caroline had ever seen. The hallway itself was a work of art. "These are the Bromedy corridors," Chester said in an excited stage whisper. "Originally painted in the 1800s. Most tourists don't get to see them." Every inch of wall and arched ceiling was covered in elaborate paintings of American history. Chester pointed to the figures of men sculpted into the railings of a bronze staircase. "The Founding Fathers." He waved at a lunette painting above a wooden door. "The Goddess of War." Despite herself, Caroline was impressed. The clack of her heels echoed off the walls as they walked into a circular chamber, as large and ornate as a cathedral. She remembered coming here 10 years ago, on a 7th grade field trip. This was the rotunda, the ceremonial heart of the Capitol. She recognized some of the iconic canvases, the Declaration of Independence, the landing of Columbus. The domed ceiling, 180 feet above, was covered with the Apotheosis of Washington, a fresco painting of the first president depicted as a god among angels. "Wow," she whispered. For the first time that night, Caroline had a real sense of the history of the place. It wasn't some TV backdrop. So much had happened in this building. So many famous people had made world-changing decisions here. Who was she to be prancing through? She was a fraud. Then she noticed the paintings of revolutionary America. Among hundreds of soldiers, explorers, and men in white wigs, she saw only 4 women. Of those, 2 were naked and on their knees. She felt better. Some things never changed. She wasn't a fraud. She was a constant. Chester led her past a sign that said, "No visitors beyond this point." They went up a series of curved staircases and down some empty white corridors, then stopped in front of an unlabeled door tucked around a corner. "Here's the congressman's hideaway." She had no idea what a hideaway was. "His personal office," the intern whispered. "A little oasis where he can get away from the hustle-bustle." There didn't seem to be much hustle-bustle at this hour, but Caroline understood the precaution. Her prior appointments at the congressman's regular office in the less glamorous Rayburn office building had caused difficulties. She was glad for the privacy this place afforded. Chester pushed the door open and gestured for Caroline to go in. He himself stood outside, as if fearful of crossing the threshold. The door clicked shut behind her. The hideaway was quiet and unoccupied. It looked more like a sitting room in a nice hotel than an office. The walls were deep maroon, the floors were covered in oriental rugs, a leather couch faced a white marble fireplace. Pictures of the congressman in action crowded every horizontal surface. An antique desk in the corner seemed less a place to work than a space for displaying more photos. A door at the back was open to a wide marble balcony overlooking the National Mall. Caroline's breath caught. The Washington Monument and Lincoln Memorial were framed against a fiery sunset. It was a stunning view, better than a postcard. A man stood on the balcony, his elbows resting on the railing, his back to her. The sunset threw his figure into dark silhouette. She smoothed her skirt and ran a manicured hand through her hair. This was the part she liked best. She was good at it. Great, to be honest. She had a talent for it like nothing else she'd ever tried. It gave her incredible satisfaction. She smiled and walked out to meet him. A woman's scream pierced the stillness of the Capitol grounds. Officer Jeff Cook was on patrol on the Capitol steps. He'd been a Capitol police officer for 12 years, but he'd never heard a scream like that around here. He put a hand on his holster and turned toward the sound. His eyes flicked over the scenery until they identified the source of the scream. There, up the hill, the 3rd-floor balcony of the Capitol's south wing, a man and woman